File 003 documents an incident that occurred in a public space. This is significant. The presence of witnesses did not prevent escalation. The subject was a 17-year-old student. No prior behavioral reports, no history of anxiety or hallucination. The event took place during a high school basketball game. Attendance exceeded 600 individuals. The subject arrived with friends. Seated in the student section, surrounded by noise, movement, and routine. Nothing unusual was reported during the first quarter. During a stoppage in play, the subject became aware of being observed, not stared at, tracked. The sensation was described later as directional, as though attention had weight. The subject scanned the bleachers. No one was facing him directly, no prolonged eye contact was made. However, one individual changed positions each time the subject looked away. The subject dismissed the observation. Crowd shift. People move. This explanation was sufficient until it repeated. Each repositioning reduced distance. The subject experienced embarrassment before fear. He did not want to be wrong in public. He did not alert his friends. He remained seated. Cheering intensified. The band played. Announcements were made. The subject reported relief when sound increased. The sensation diminished only when attention was divided. At halftime, the subject stood. The individual stood as well, not immediately. After a delay consistent with imitation, the subject moved toward the concession area. The individual followed. Movement dispersed the crowd. Noise became less uniform. Sightlines opened. The subject felt exposed. The individual was not distinct. No identifying clothing, no memorable features. The subject later stated, "He looked correct in every way that didn't matter." The subject altered direction. Enter a hallway leading to restrooms. This area was monitored by staff. The individual continued. The subject did not run. Running would attract attention. Running would require explanation. He chose to walk faster. Near the end of the third quarter, the subject returned to his seat. The individual did not follow. This absence was not reassuring. The subject reported the sensation of being followed without visual confirmation. File 003 remains open. Not because contact occurred, but because recognition did. This file was not closed. File 004 documents confirmation, not of a threat, of a pattern. The subject was no longer alone in his experience. 3 days after the basketball game, the subject received a message. It was not anonymous. It was not threatening. It contained no explanation. The message read, "Hey, I think the same thing is happening to you." The sender was another student. Different school, same district. no prior interaction with the subject. The message referenced the basketball game, specifically where the subject had been sitting. The subject did not reply immediately. He reviewed the message repeatedly. He checked mutual connections. The sender existed. He replied with a single question. "What do you mean?" The sender suggested meeting in person. Not privately, not remotely, in a public location with consistent foot traffic. A fast food restaurant near a shopping center was selected. Prior to the meeting, the subject reported heightened awareness, not fear, anticipation, as though something was adjusting to a change in routine. This sensation diminished once the meeting location was reached. The second individual arrived early. Seated near the window, back to the wall, facing the entrance. The subject recognized him from social media. He looked ordinary. The second individual did not greet the subject verbally. He waited for the subject to sit. He waited for eye contact. Then he spoke. His first statement was recorded later by the subject from memory. The second individual stated that the experience begins with attention. Not surveillance, not pursuit, attention. The second individual reported his first experience occurred during a school assembly. Crowded environment, elevated noise. The sensation appeared suddenly and persisted after dismissal. He did not tell anyone. The second individual reported attempts to rationalize the experience. Stress, anxiety, coincidence. These explanations failed only after repetition. The second individual stated that visual confirmation was not required. He described the sensation as positional, directional, as though awareness had orientation. Unlike the subject, the second individual reported earlier onset, shorter delay, faster adjustment. This concerned him. The second individual advised against avoidance. He stated that reducing activity did not diminish the experience, it refined it. He stated that staying visible slowed escalation. The subject reported disbelief, not rejection, recognition. The descriptions aligned. Details differed. The sensation was identical. At this point in the meeting, both individuals noticed a change, not in the environment, in themselves. The sensation intensified only after shared acknowledgement. The meeting ended prematurely. No argument occurred, no explanation was offered. The second individual stood and left without conclusions. Following the meeting, the subject reported a new symptom. The sensation no longer followed him. It positioned itself between him and others. Crowds felt segmented. That evening, the subject received another message. It read, "I think it uses comparison. That's why it needs more than one of us." The second individual ceased responding after this message. No social media activity. No school attendance, no confirmation of harm. The subject did not attempt further contact. File 004 confirms that the phenomenon does not isolate individuals. It aligns them. It adjusts based on contrast. The subject was not followed. He was contextualized. Awareness does not spread the phenomenon. it accelerates it. The file remains open. This file has not closed.